Welcome everyone to our meeting this evening for July 20th, and we will begin with calling the meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call for attendance.
Okay. Commissioner Bowser,
Here.
Commissioner Bueller,
Here.
Commissioner Day,
Here.
Commissioner Hewitt,
Here.
Commissioner Robertson, Commissioner Shaver,
Here.
Commissioner Warren.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, for approval of minutes, I have just July 6th. Did you get?
That's all you got. I haven't got that.
So, for July 29th, still, or for June 29th,
Yeah.
so, waiting on, okay. So any corrections for July 6th? I'm gonna pass mine down. Just very few on that one. Any questions or hesitations with approving July 6th? We'll go ahead and we'll approve minutes for July 6th, 2026. No courtesies, no proclamations. We'll move on to board and commission report. Are we okay to start? Commissioner Bowser?
Yeah, we did not have an ordinance, meeting this month, while Polly was out of town. We did meet, July 14th, the library board did, and we did interviews for the library director. And our regular meeting will be tomorrow, so we'll go over that, and we did have 3 applicants, so we did those interviews, so I will be able to report on the rest of the meeting next time. That's it.
Thank you. Commissioner Shaver?
I have nothing, because I didn't attend the audit meeting, but I have a meeting, a health board meeting next Monday, the 20th.
Commissioner Bueller?
We did have the audit meeting audit committee meeting last Thursday. During that meeting, we discussed, county funds and how those are coming to us. We also discussed, new opportunities utilizing reserves, and the possibility of how we want to manage that. What is that funding mechanism?
So that would be opting into the addition of the basically set aside reserve account for the newly taxable.
There we go.
The new state law.
And that's it.
Commissioner Ward?
In our public works meeting, we discussed, we have a few applicants for public works director, so there will be some interviews getting set up and seeing what we can do.
Awesome.
Hopefully we can do something. We'll see.
Thank you. And Commissioner Hewitt? No, nothing. And again, the Park and Rec Board did not have a July meeting, so we'll look forward to our August meeting, the first Wednesday of August, 7 p.m. at the Civic Center, Park and Recreation. Okay, we'll move on to the city manager report with our city manager, Holly Phelps.
Yes, so just an update on disbursement of tax payments. Earlier this month, we did receive payments from February and March. We have not seen anything additional, and so Nikki will be reaching out to the treasurer for updates on the other months that are still pending. And then over the weekend, the owners of the Spring Water Apartments have started moving forward with the construction fence and staging equipment in the area. This prompted a lot of phone calls and concerns. There was also another petition for an injunction and temporary restraining order. The judge on the case is Judge Hayworth, who is out of Miles City, and he is working to get a hearing set in the next couple of weeks. I'm not certain on what the hearing will entail, if it is just for this temporary request or if it is on the entire document, but once we have some additional information, we'll let you guys know. A lot of community events happen in the summer. So of course, this week is Fair Week. The Fair Parade is Thursday at 11 in the downtown. The American Legion will be hosting their Preserved Military Vehicles Convoy. That is July 31st. And then Center Fest is August 1st. And also in addition to Center Fest, the Judith Mountain 10K run also takes place the morning of August 1st. Park and Recreation, the heat has made the pool a very popular place to hang out. The water aerobics have also been very popular. They continue to do lots of exciting things down at the pool. So if you want to see what's going on there, we encourage people to check out their Facebook page. Flag football is gearing up to start, and also at the Civic Center, they're working on a bunch of maintenance. Really no updates on the wastewater items there. The Planning Commission, the first actual business meeting of the City County Planning Commission was earlier this month. There were 2 items on the agenda, and one small one lot subdivision that is happening just inside of the county, outside the city limits. And the variance that you guys will hear more about later tonight. Employment, again, the Public Works Director, police officer, and a recreation specialist. We will be conducting interviews for the Public Works Director and the police officer in the next couple of weeks. We did hire a fireman and a part-time fireman, and those individuals start very soon.
What I have, thank you.
Any questions from the commission regarding the city manager report? From the public? We'll move on then to public comment. So tonight we're hearing public comment on non-agenda items. So anything that is not on the agenda, we will do public comment on. And then we'd like to refer that we do have a time limit on comment tonight because of the attendance. So we'll go ahead and we'll begin with public comment at this time. Sure, if you could come up to the microphone and state your name and address, it's super helpful for the record.
Hello, can you hear me? My name is Todd Stoichkov, and I live at 721 West Spring Street. I'd like to inform Holly that they did a little more than state certified. They actually got footings done today, and they leveled out the whole parking lot. They asked people to move so they could put their approaches in tomorrow. So to me, it doesn't, I don't understand. There's injunctions involved and there's judges involved, and the city would give them a building permits to do what they're doing. They're not. I don't understand that part, so I just want a clarification because nobody was notified.
Thank you.
Michelle Rainey, where do I live? Council Ridge. Does anybody know what's going on at Casino Creek with the pipelines and stuff? Looks, a bunch of, natural gas pipelines are being put in. It's really being dug up there. You guys know about any of that? Okay. Well, anyway, it's a question. Also, I think I must have missed a couple of meetings, but the zoning survey, when did that get started, the zoning survey that we can take online? When was that available?
Yeah, I think it was just 2-week survey.
Just 2 weeks, but we want citizen input on that? You know, so many people I talked to had no clue that was even out there. So it's already closed. It was only 2 weeks. And it is part of the Montana City Growth Plan, the Lewistown 2024 Growth Plan. So I think it's very important. The 106-page brochure online about our growth plan a lot of people aren't able to see it. They're not able to go online. Holly said we can go to the library and look at it, but I don't think a lot of people are gonna do that. But what it stated was that a lot of, they wanted citizen input on the growth plan. And I know that only 300 and something people actually did the survey, and a lot of us didn't even know it happened. Now, somewhat shame on us, we need to be more aware, and I think people are getting more aware, especially after those apartments went up above Fountain Terrace, and now Spring Street, a lot of people became aware of what's happening with this growth plan. But it needs to be, we're expecting it to be responsible and safe, and considering issues and concerns in each affected neighborhood. You know, not just going forward because somebody said we want to take lots of land and grow 40 apartments on it when there's dangers involved. A lot of people said they're concerned about their children in the neighborhood and parking and snow removal and all that. So we're hoping for more responsibility. And the truth is, the zoning survey is very questionable. 2 weeks and hardly anybody knew about it. And you guys are our city council, and we're actually losing a lot of trust with this stuff going on. It's not just the neighborhood and around Spring Street Apartments. It's Lewistown. When it happens there, it can happen somewhere else. It's happening up there. So I think things need to be considered and talked about a little bit more. And that's what I have to say. There's a lot of concerned neighbors right now with what they're seeing. There's people crying over this. It's not good.
Thank you. Public comment.
Jason Carlson, I live here in Lewistown. I just want to commend the board. I actually came just to see if you guys actually put, on the citizens' request, the First Amendment violation that you guys have been continuing. And I see it's not on there, and I commend you. I think you guys did a wonderful job. I appreciate it. You guys did a good job. I think that's wonderful. Just keep it off, just keep it peaceful, and just keep it open and honest, and just encourage people just in their comments to be peaceful and kind of considerate. The Bible says a gentle answer turns away wrath. So I think if you just treat people with respect, I think people will treat you with respect too. So thank you. I appreciate your step, and please continue to do that.
Thank you. Public comment. All right, we'll move on to the consent agenda. So we have three before us, three separate listings of claims.
But my recommendation is to only approve the 69,925.63 that were all paid in June. It's just the one sheeter. It should have been your top one you received. The other ones have duplicate payments that I would like to do some double checking.
Okay, so that's for both the accounting of June and July.
No, this one here, yes, the ones I want to fix, correct.
June, July, okay, perfect. So
I just want the ones that were for June only. It was this sheet, the first sheet you had, it had
Primarily fuel service.
fuel service, my annual pool payment, and the postal service bills. That was our last bills we paid for June 26. And I will bring back the rest that were for June, paid in July, cleaned up.
okay, so any questions regarding that particular report for that consent agenda? Do we have a motion?
I move we approve the claims that have been paid only for the June 30th in the amount of $69,925.63.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Bueller and a second from Commissioner Shaver. Any other questions? All right, all in favor of approving that particular consent agenda, raise your right hand. All in favor, consent agenda is approved. Okay, moving on to our regular agenda for the evening with resolutions, ordinances, and other action items. We'll begin with item number 1, discussion and action on approving an amendment to the Honda Shop Railroad lease. City Manager Hohenfeld.
Yes, so included in your packet was the letter I received requesting, at least to entertain a proposed amendment to the original railroad lease for the Honda shop. And so included in the packet was the entire lease and this area, which I know it didn't copy well, I apologize. And then the proposed amendment to the lease was handed out tonight. I see Mr. Burgle is in the audience, so if it's all right with you, we'll see if he would like to give us a little background or just kind of the thought behind it.
Thank you, Holly. I'm here on behalf of Ed and Phyllis Evans. Thank you for giving us a minute of your time. I put an amendment to the lease in Holly's hand. The main point of the amendment is we've gone a long time with basically a month-to-month lease. And as you know, the building encroaches on the Rails to Trails property. And as Ed and Phyllis working on transition planning and other things, it's an issue that's been on their agenda for a long time, hopefully to have a longer term lease than a 30-day lease, even if they have a building that encroaches on the property. So that was the intent of the amendment, was to have a longer term. I provided a first draft to Holly. I got some great feedback from Holly. I don't know if anyone else was involved in the feedback, but it was good feedback. I made amendments to the proposal based on that feedback, and I would request that you approve the amendment. And I'm sure here to answer any questions that I can on behalf of Ed and Phyllis.
So this lease is for a 15-year lease?
Yes.
So we're essentially going from a month to a 15-year?
That is correct, with one big catch. The lease has in about 3 different sections, very clear language saying that if the Rails to Trails requirements put the city in the corner where you need to get out of the lease, you can get out of the lease on very short notice.
Yeah.
So if you have that exit still on short notice, it would just be for other terms. If the city decided you wanted to do something else with the property, you would need to wait until the end of the lease to do that.
Okay.
We're doing 30 days versus annually.
It was annually, but how he's looking at it as an attorney and overall, it would be considered a month-to-month the way it is written in there. However, they have been paid on an annual basis.
So with notice, they could be asked to leave within 30 days.
That's correct.
And that still stands in that new.
On
This
the new
one's 90.
lease is not.
90.
It is, there's a limited for cause reasons, that we could change that 15-year term.
Yeah. If a Honda shop breaches the lease in any way, you would go through a standard period of notice, and if they didn't cure the lease, then their lease would end. But as long as they stay in compliance, it's a 15-year lease with the one catch out. If the city needs to do something because of the Rails to Trails provisions, you still have that authority.
I gotta ask, why can't we sell this land?
So it is encumbered property. We're basically caregivers, much like Brian explained, the airports were the same way. So we received the property, though we did pay a nominal amount for it. But we are in a caregiver status, and if the railroad ever chose to come back into central Montana, we would have to relinquish it in basically a like condition.
Yeah.
So that's why so many provisions are in that.
Have we ever formally approached the railroad to see if they'd sell
It's not the railroad, you'd have to go to the Federal Department of Transportation.
it? We need to do that with both the airport. This is our land. If we want to sell it, we should be able to sell it. That's what I'm saying. So give them a 15-year lease, but we need to sell all federal land and airport land. And I don't want Lewistown to be a landlord. We're not real estate.
Correct.
Okay.
Right, maybe it's a benefit to the public, but also on the flip side of that, if you sell that, you get one chunk of money that could equal 3,000, where we're getting that for the next 15.
Yeah, but we're not landlords, and we're not trying to make money on renting
So-
land.
We have multiple leases on these Rails to Trails spots. My question primarily is the length of this lease, is that longer than the others?
The others are just an annual lease, basically.
Okay. I was gonna say, we just did one for Lewistown Livestock, which is 5.
And, again, the provisions of this amendment continue the annual increases in the amount of lease revenue generated. All of the railroad leases, are basically the operating, revenue for the, trails in Lewistown. So they pay for the trails coordinator, they pay for, all of the maintenance of the trails.
Is there a benefit or a reason why we would extend past a 5-year versus going into that 15-year?
This
The
is
15-year seems like a significant time.
So this is the only lease that has a building, a newly constructed building built partially on this. And so in order for financing or other financial situations, that's
They have to have.
also a concern.
Okay. Whereas the others do not have structures.
Correct.
And this is, just reiterating, this is the only one that has a structure on there of all the ones that we're leasing.
Correct.
They own the structure.
Correct. And it's just a portion, basically their addition they did encroached onto the railroad property. And they knew it when they did it.
And again, that's a 90-day,
That is correct, 90-day term if there was a.
and it says that there needs to be cause. Are those causes identified or
It
clarified?
is, if you look at page 2 of the amendment, I think starting, page 2, paragraph 4, they give you a pretty good definition of cost.
Thank you.
And like I said, I reviewed it, our city attorney also reviewed it, and they made all of the recommendations that were asked.
Do we have a motion?
I move that we accept the amendment to, for the, on the shop.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Hewitt and a second from Commissioner Bowser. Any questions from the commission regarding the motion? Okay, any from the public? We will do a roll call vote. Okay.
Okay, we are approving the amendment to the Honda Shop Railroad lease. Commissioner Bowser.
Aye.
Commissioner Bueller.
Aye.
Commissioner Day.
Aye.
Commissioner Hewitt.
Aye.
Commissioner Shaver.
Aye.
Commissioner Warren.
I'm going to abstain just because relationship with the family.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. All right, commission passes. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to item number 2, which is discussion and action on approving variance in Z 2601, a request by Mike Overland for variance to build a 30-foot by 36-foot garage at their property located on 711 7th Avenue North. The variance request is to allow the construction of the garage to be within 10 inches of the northeast property line. City Manager Holly.
Yes, so included in your packet was, the staff report provided to the planning commission. In that, it explains, what is being requested. We also sent out 38, owner notifications. We did receive one email, from the property directly, impacted. And so it's the owner of the property of 605 West Virginia. You can see the questions that they have regarding, runoff, both from rain and snow. But I actually spoke to the gentleman as well on the phone, and, it was more questions, and he was not in opposition of this, variance. So the variance, city code would require 3-foot setback. The variance is to vary from that and allow a 10-inch setback. In evaluating this, we looked at, the existing lot development, relationships to the other adjacent properties, potential impacts to the neighborhood, compatibility, and whether, granting this variance would set a precedent. They did not feel that. They did not, they being the planning commission, did not feel that those were detriments. They identified that the existing property is in a residential area that is very common to have detached garages, and permitting this would not kind of prohibit or change the use of the area, but best accommodate the existing resident, the access that they currently have, and the layout of that property. They didn't feel that requesting the variance would not comply with the current setback requirements. However, by doing this, it still significantly kept the function of the property. The setback between the house and the garage would be maintained, which is basically there is no alley at this property. And so that's how they access the backyard. And so by not allowing it, it would have significantly decreased that access to that property behind the garage. This was not self-created. It was the existing location is in the exact same spot. So 10 inches off of that same property line. And so it's not an attempt to increase density or anything like that. Just continue what had been done in the past. The neighborhood character, the neighborhood is full of, is zoned R2, full of single family residents with the detached garages. And so no anticipated adverse effects to the property or public welfare. Again, there was an existing garage in the same location. So the planning commission did recommend conditionally approving the variance with the following conditions: that all building permits be obtained prior to construction, and that construction comply with building code and fire code and other regulations. While constructing that close to the property line, it does require some additional building code to be met. And then that was unanimously approved.
It does look like they're gonna have to put new concrete though, doesn't it? Because it looks like they're breaking up the concrete with the old one was.
Yes, yeah, due to the age of the concrete.
Yeah, but they're gonna put it right back where the other one was. Okay.
And it's definitely larger. The property owners are in the audience too, so if we have questions. But they also spoke to the desire to preserve the mature trees in the yard.
So it says on here that there were 38 letters mailed, and there was no, at that time, there was no comments, with the exception of the email.
Yep, so when I wrote it, there was none,
Okay.
and then that came in the day of.
And then, as far as the public hearing goes, there was no comments?
No objection or other comments. The owners were present, but nobody else had comments or concerns.
And then this gentleman that sent the email, is he here tonight?
Yeah, he lives out of state.
All of his concerns were addressed.
They must.
The property owners are here. Will you have a gutter, snow breaking gutter on that side of the shop where up against your neighbor? Snow breaking gutter?
There wasn't one in the existing garage.
There will be on this
The
one.
new one will have gutter.
And that's just storage next to that, right? Looks like that they have on there.
Yeah, there's a tool shed we got.
Okay.
I appreciate you getting the variance. If I had a building that was already there, I'd just build another one.
We don't want to build half of it, and we told.
That's,
Yeah.
it's a good point.
Well, you used the language conditionally used, and it took a variance.
Conditionally approved.
Conditionally approved.
Yeah.
by the commission.
Planning.
Do you have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the variance request for the property listed at 711 7th Avenue North, for their garage. With the condition.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Bowser and a second from Commissioner Mueller. Any other questions regarding the motion? During the new garage? Ryan?
Jason Carlson, again, I live right here in Lewistown. So if you guys actually said no to this man, then he can't build his garage on his property. You guys not see that this is wrong? This is private property, or so I thought. I'm in agreement with Kim. I mean, the city to be owning property, the government, it can't constitutionally. For us to tell this man what he can and cannot do with his private property, it's not private property. If you guys, the servants, which he pays all these folks, your taxes and your wages, and you're telling him what he can and cannot do with his property? Does that not bother any of you people? I thought this was America.
So this is for a variance we're hearing for a setback. So it's not, it goes against the city code to be able to build it the way that he's requesting it to be built. So right now the motion is to allow him to build it. Right, and I mean, I understand, but does that make sense to everybody, what's happening here tonight? All right, let's do a roll call vote.
Okay, so we are approving the variance V-26-01 with the conditions. Commissioner Bowser.
Aye.
Commissioner Bueller.
Aye.
Commissioner Day.
Aye.
Commissioner Hewitt.
Aye.
Commissioner Shaver.
Aye.
Commissioner Warren.
All right.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to just, item number 3, is discussion and action on approving resolution number 4227, a resolution approving an application request from Brakes Medical for head funds made to the Lewistown Tax Increment Advisory Committee. City Manager Holyfield.
Yes, so we received a application from the Brakes Medical Clinic, for TED funds. They are currently in the process of constructing a new kind of joint facility, in front of the VA clinic near Town and Country. And so there is a description in there, but basically, in that building, they plan on having a multidisciplinary medical center, that includes, physical therapy, chiropractic, dermatology, and specialty care, walk-ins, orthopedics, different things there. Their goal is to employ approximately 30 people at the facility. And again, it's a bunch of locals that really love the community and would like to expand their practices and are coming together. The TED board met, and you can see that their investment is a very large investment. The total project costs are in the vicinity of $8 million for the project. And so they requested $250,000 in TED funds to be used for a variety of things, but most of those being site work, utilities, and basically access for this expanding business. The TIF board did unanimously agree to it and approve their request.
It's like you're reading the mind on the question.
No, you're,
Is this TIF money or TED money?
it's TED.
TED.
So TED is really to, the districts were designed for those areas where infrastructure is deficient. And so to address that deficiency, that infrastructure could be water, sewer, curbing and streets, sidewalks, gas, railroad. I mean, there's, again, a statutory definition of what can be covered under this.
So could you speak for a moment just on, like, I know that when we look at TIF applications, it's caps at a different amount. Can you speak a little bit about the amount that's being requested?
So the
Can you
TED,
capture that?
yeah, the TED district, again, has different applications and requirements. And so they have some discretion. They still do meet and far exceed the minimum, one-to-one match that's required by that. Just due to the nature and the size of this project, bigger budgets, bigger asks.
How many local businesses are going in there?
Currently 2 at this time, with another, I believe, doctor that, whether he's living here now or working on relocating, will be awesome.
In their little description, they say they are actively looking for dermatology.
Oh, nothing. I read it earlier, but
Do we have a motion?
I move we approve resolution number 4227, a resolution approving an application request from the Breaks Medical for TED funds made to the Lewistown Tax Increment Advisory Committee.
Second. We have a motion from Commissioner Bueller, a second from Commissioner Hewitt. Any other questions regarding the motion from the commission? Any from, yeah, thank you. Okay, go ahead, Judy.
The only question I have, can you tell us the location?
Yeah.
Where,
Town and Country
Out by
has the
Town
new
and
building, the VA clinic, right in front of that, closer to the highway, is the building that we're talking about. It's got pipes
Yeah.
currently.
I think the steel framing.
In front of the VA.
Yes,
Groundbreaking.
south of the VA.
All right, we'll do a roll call vote.
Okay, we are approving resolution number 4227. Commissioner Bowser?
Aye.
Commissioner Bueller?
Aye.
Commissioner Day?
Aye.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Aye.
Commissioner Shaver?
No.
Commissioner Warren?
Aye.
Okay, Chris, I move on again, how was you, or think that was any, $8 million project?
$8 million.
$8 million. So coming back in taxes, that's a pretty big recapture.
They estimated their annual taxes at roughly $30,000,
Okay. Thank you.
which would go directly back to the
Awesome. All right, well, we're moving on to item number 4, discussion and action on approving resolution number 4228, a resolution and application request from United Methodist Church for TIP funds made to the Lewistown Tax Increment Advisory Committee. City Manager Holly Bell.
Yes, also at the same advisory committee meeting, the Methodist Church presented their application. They are currently in the process of getting solar power or solar cells on their building. They also wanted to grind stumps. They had some diseased trees that were previously removed, and the stumps remained in the boulevard along Fifth Avenue that they wanted ground. And then they are looking to purchase a handicap ramp for the alley portion of, or alley entrance at the building. Again, we do have members in the audience that presented. So if you have questions, I'm sure they're able to address those. But their request was for $17,288.99. Their project had already paid a portion of the solar and received another grant for that, so they could demonstrate that they also met the match required, and the board did unanimously approve this grant request as well. I don't know, Andrea, did you have anything else to add?
Oh, well, I think it's important to note that Small Wonder is in our building, and there's 70 to 80 families that bring their children there. And by putting the solar panels up, that will reduce the amount of electricity that Small Wonder contributes towards that bill, and the shade from the trees, the handicap ramp. We kind of see this as a partnership with Small Wonder.
So do we get any tax money from this? Is there any recoup at all?
So the church itself does not pay taxes, but again, it provides a service to our community, whether it's the church or the daycare.
And it's solidly within the TIF district.
Yes.
I move we approve resolution number 4228, a resolution for the application request from United Methodist Church for TIF funds made to the Lewistown Tax Increment Advisory Committee.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Mueller. Wow. Do we have a second? I'll second it. And a second from Commissioner Hewitt. Any additional discussion? Questions regarding the motion?
I think it is good to point out that this is helping two very valuable and needed services in our community, and thinking proactively about the future. And it's nice to see those TIF district dollars go back into the district to help support the public.
And also I feel like just mentioning the work that's been done securing grant funding in addition to help with that project.
I just question it with the churches. This will, I mean, all the churches do all kinds of upkeep and their parishioners just donate money and get it done. So,
Does the school district pay taxes? In the past, the school district has also received TIF funds to maintain the walkway, to make sure that the area, the sidewalk is safe for the
the
public.
school district is government.
This took it to 10. I'm gonna make a statement here that I feel like I'm on Shark Tank up here, but for winners and losers. I do not like these. I don't like either the TED or because we all have to remember this is money that the taxpayers gave that could be going to the schools or could be going to the fire department or could, so I think we have to keep that in mind, especially that one that's $250,000. I just don't. I feel like I'm Santa Claus instead of the city commissioner up here. So, that's just a statement.
Could you think on again that these funds come from the district, not from the whole
Taxable.
tax?
Where would
pool?
where would they have gone if they wouldn't stayed in there? In the pit.
If there was no TIF kit.
Huh?
If there was no TIF kit, it would be.
Development wouldn't have happened. I mean,
Sometimes you don't get the development back.
I mean, that money came from taxpayers. Us.
No.
only in the district.
Every dime we spend as a government comes from out there. We don't produce anything. We can't make any money. It comes from taxpayers. It's money that could go to somewhere.
Very soon. But it is the best way for that district to support itself with its own tax dollars. It's the only mechanism that shows you pay this and you get this much back for this service. And that's the best thing about the TIF district is it makes it local, it makes it visible, and it makes it help our community stay strong with our structures and maintain a viable business district.
But I was under the understanding though, it went large part of it was because of blight. It was to combat the blight.
There is combating blight and also safety for the public is another major component of it.
So the TIF district was created to eliminate blight. You have these areas, portions of town that were dying, that there was no activity or reinvestment in them. And so again, it's a tool that allows local control. So it's not, and I think this is what Commissioner Day was wanting explained, that it's not tax dollars from across the town. It's the tax dollars, the increment, so the additional tax that's generated because you're reinvesting within just that geographic area, it's set aside.
Can you tell us, was anyone at this meeting? It would most likely be Commissioner Robertson.
Commissioner Roberts.
If the churches do not pay taxes or are paying into this particular district, what was the government, like, what was their reasoning for approving this? As an advisory board?
Kind of the other value that they add to our community and to the district. Again, I mean, Creekside received money in it, and and this was brought up at the TIF board meeting, in fact, that Central Feed went on record and said we would not be developing Central Feed if there wasn't the plan of Creekside next door, because it is reinvestment in the community. The district itself, the value of the district doesn't necessarily mean how much the taxes or how much tax revenue the church generates, but by them keeping their building up and reinvesting in their building, it's good for the entire district as well. People want to do more next door, and it just kind of propagates.
So you could kind of go with the argument of, we have commissioners that feel that this is something that's put in for the community wide, like we're all paying taxes on that. And here we have 70 to 80 families in our community that would benefit from something like that. We also have the ability to adjust amounts, right? If we wanted to look at seeing that the solar portion or the handicap, all of these items, I'll be honest with you, I need to see all three of them as a huge benefit, but we do also have the ability to do that as a commission.
So my biggest issue is the solar,
Solar.
because that was their choice. They're gonna save the money on the bill. I mean, handicap ramp, got no issue with helping out with an handicap ramp and all that. But the solar is your choice.
We do have a motion on the table, but we can hear more comments.
Can I just add that, so the electric and gas bill for our building is $12,000 a year. It was even more last year. And Small Wonder pays 70% of that. And by the savings that they'll get from this gas and electric, solar help hopefully will be passed on to families to be able to reduce tuition or provide better services or whatever they choose to do. But that was our goal.
Thank you. Okay, we have a motion on the table.
So we need to do a vote on the motion, and whatever happens after that, we can take the next step.
All right, let's do a roll call vote for this.
Okay, we have a motion on the table to approve resolution number 4228, and this is an application from United Methodist Church for TIF funds made to the Lewistown Tax Increment Advisory Committee. Commissioner Bowser.
Nay.
Commissioner Bueller.
Aye.
Commissioner Day.
Aye.
Commissioner Hewitt.
Aye.
Commissioner Shaver.
Nay.
Commissioner Warren.
Nay.
So it did not pass. We do not have a majority vote. So you can make another motion, or we can do some more research and bring it back to another commission. And I'm just following Robert's rules.
No, that's perfect. Do we have another motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept or approve it, TIF funds and everything, excluding the solar portion of it.
We have a motion on the table from Commissioner Shaver to only cover the tree portion request amount, which is 1,500. In this one has a weird color.
No, it would be $3,100-ish.
You're
32,049.
32,0499. Okay, so it would be for the tree portion and the handicap ramp portion.
I'll second that.
Okay, awesome. We have a motion from Commissioner Shaver and a second from Commissioner Warren. Any other questions regarding the motion? So understanding the motion would be to cover the tree portion and handicap ramp only and exclude the solar portion.
What happens if they would like to reapply? Again, this was approved by the TIF board. So the TIF board has approved these funds to be expended.
They can apply again.
They're an advisory board to you guys. The final decision rests with you guys. I don't know why they couldn't reapply if they can.
And you mentioned earlier there was work already started or constructed on that particular, because of the grants that were received, or what was the purpose?
They have already got most of the solar installed. They're just asking for the final payment.
Okay, any comments from the public?
Yeah, can I make a comment? I think this is the definition of socialism, from each according to his ability, to each according to his need. It sounds good, I mean, it sounds like we can back it up with good ideas to help people, but then why not say my mom and dad's house, it needs painted? I think it should go before the tax board, the taxpayers, and they should pay for my mom and dad's house to be painted. I agree with Ken, Ken is right on. It sounds good, but that's socialism, you can't take taxpayer dollars and give to another person. It has to stop.
Thank you. Let's do a roll call vote.
Okay. So I have a motion on the table. We would still approve resolution number 4228 with the amendment that on item 1 at the bottom, the amount would be.
Can I ask one more question before we go on? Would that be acceptable if we?
Are you addressing this?
Well, they might not even
Or are
want
you
it.
addressing this to the public?
I'm addressing it, I'm asking a question to
To the
applicants.
commission?
the applicant.
Okay.
Is it okay? I mean, you wouldn't throw away that money for the tree and the handicap ramp, right? They'll take it. Thanks, that's all I want. I wanted to make sure they weren't upset. Nope, we're leaving.
So are we ready? Okay, so we have resolution number 4228 on the table. A motion has been made to change the amount $3,204.99 with the grinding of tree stumps and the purchase of a handicap ramp for the property.
The total would be.
Four. It would be 4. I just did the math.
Oh, what is it again? I'm sorry.
That's correct.
99?
I don't have a calculator at my hands here, so.
I got it. It'd
42.
be 4204, not 3204.
Sorry.
99.
So $4,204.99. Does everyone understand what the motion is?
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner Bowser,
Nay.
Commissioner Bueller,
Aye.
Commissioner Day,
Aye.
Commissioner Hewitt,
Okay.
Commissioner Shaver,
Uh,
Commissioner Warren.
Aye.
Okay, that portion does pass. I have I can't even think of the word. Majority vote. Sorry.
The same way. Okay, awesome, thank you. Okay, we're moving on to item number 5, which is discussion and action on approving the 2026, 2027 annual plan for the tax increment finance district. City Manager Holly Phelps.
Yes, So at the TIP board, they also, put together their work plan and, budget, basically allocations or percentages. So the TIP board continues to prioritize private and public investment to generate taxable value. These projects include, but are not limited to, building facades, infrastructure, and other public benefits, such as parking and upper story housing. The board will continue to expand their knowledge of the revolving loan and bonding options to be more prepared to take on larger projects in the future. The advisory board has opted not to allocate any of their funds to the revolving loan fund currently. The investment plan and application are used to determine eligibility and projects, and Snowy Mountain is the administrator. Their percentages remain the same, with 1% going to management and other operating expenses, private property investment at 25%, infrastructure investment at 45%, discretionary investment opportunities at 19%, and a reserve of 10%. Their current budget for the TIF is approximately $1,600,000.
So the revolving loan fund is still offered, but just not that they're allocating funds for under this plan.
Correct.
Do we have a motion?
I move we approve the 26-27 annual plan for the tax increment finance district.
I'll second it.
We have a motion from Commissioner Mueller, a second from Commissioner Shaver. Any other questions regarding this work plan? Okay, any other comments? Let's do a roll call vote.
Okay, we are approving the 26-27 TIF annual plan. Commissioner Bowser.
Aye.
Commissioner Bueller.
Aye.
Commissioner Day.
Aye.
Commissioner Hewitt.
Aye.
Commissioner Shaver.
Aye.
Commissioner Warren.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, and our final item for this evening is discussion and action on approving the 2026-2027 annual plan for the targeted economic development district. City Manager Holly Phelps.
Yes, so the TED district annual work plan is as follows. The TED board continues to prioritize private and public investment into the taxable value. Projects are not limited, but include public infrastructure. The investment plan and application that have been approved are how they determine eligibility for the projects, and Snowy Mountain administers this program for the board as well. Their percentages are as follows: 1% for management and other operating expenses, 75% of it for infrastructure and private property investment, with 14% going to discretionary investment opportunities and a 10% reserve. The budget for the TED is approximately $570,000.
I move we approve the 26-27 annual plan for the targeted economic development district.
A second. Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Bueller, a second from Commissioner Hewitt. Any other comments from the commission or the public regarding this work plan?
So their budget's $570,000, we just allowed $250,000 to that one project. So half of their money.
And that's not the revenue coming in. We don't have the revenue for the new year.
That's just what's in the bank for right now.
Existing.
And 1.6 for the TIF.
Let's do a roll call vote for that one as well.
Now we are approving the TIF annual plan for fiscal year 27. Commissioner Bowser.
Aye.
Commissioner Bueller.
Aye.
Commissioner Day.
Aye.
Commissioner Hewitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Shaver, Commissioner Warren.
Thank you. Okay, we'll be moving on to citizens' requests. Any citizen requests tonight?
Tonight,
Yeah, citizens' requests?
it doesn't have to be on what you just talked about.
Nope.
I know this wasn't on the agenda, but I just went to the zoning survey. It's still online. It doesn't say a cutoff date. A lot of people don't know about this. If our input is really to make a difference, I don't think it is to make a difference. I don't think it matters. I think you guys, somebody's got an agenda going forward. Why are these apartments being built right now? We need to know. We need to know who said go bigger. Nobody's told us who said go bigger. So what is all this? 105 pages on the growth plan say we want citizen input. We're here getting our input, and the Board of Adjustment didn't give a darn. One person on there had the same thing happening in their neighborhood, and they said, we don't want it here because it'll make our home values go down and traffic. And we're getting the same thing happening here, that person was on the Board of Adjustment and passed. They were on the city council at the time. But anyway, the zoning survey is still up. But apparently,
I'm gonna just stop you right here, Michelle, because
Yeah.
I'd like to know, first of all, your request is you would like to see the commission do something to make the zoning survey more public? Is that what you're requesting?
yeah, more public
Okay,
and more
and then
time.
the second thing is I think regarding that spring water apartment complex, like, that's in the court's hands right now. It's not in our hands. You know, we put that into somebody else's
Somebody gave a
hands.
building permit. Why would they do a building permit when it's in the
That is, that's not, we can't legally make these things, and I don't feel like this is up for an argument tonight.
Well, just asking a question, who gave them the building?
Right now, those questions are being handled by the law. They're being turned
Who
over
city
to
of Lewistown?
the city of Lewistown.
Somebody gave a building permit.
Do they have a
Yeah.
building permit? When was it issued?
Legally, we have to give a.
When was it issued though?
He said it's a done deal.
It was issued before it was issued, the building permit was issued way before all this came up to light, what was going on.
And did the injunction just get filed?
So they initially filed a temporary restraining order, which the judge denied. They
Okay.
have then today filed another.
Okay, so that's what can stop anything.
And the court did not say that they couldn't start.
Correct. No, they didn't.
They could have said that, but they didn't.
That they couldn't start.
Yeah, the court, right, is that my understanding? Courts could have said, we're holding this all up until the court decides, and there will be no work. But the court decided not to do that. The court did not stay the work.
Yeah, well, everything got pushed out in time. But as far as the zoning law and citizen input, I just feel like we're really lacking that here. And I would have liked a way to go pass it out on paper. There's a lot of people that don't do stuff online. I helped an elderly gentleman do it today on his computer.
Can you give them a summary of what's in the survey? It is not anything pertaining to newer zoning changes. It's really asking what your desire in new ordinances would be. Your general knowledge, did you participate in the land use? It's about 10 questions and asking you to prioritize prior to amending ordinances, just to kind of find out the temperature of the community.
I think that's huge.
Can that stay on? That survey stay on?
Currently is on, I mean,
Okay.
Yep.
Are the zoning committee meetings open to the public?
and it will all be going before the planning commission and you guys as well.
So people are finding out about it, and I asked if I could print it so they could do it, because if they can't do it on their own computer, and if it's a couple with one computer, only one person can fill it out. You can't do it on paper. There's a lot of elderly people that aren't gonna do it at home, and they're not going to the library. But we can pass out information. It comes from the community to tell other community members. So I'm trying to get word out for people to fill it online. One gentleman went on and he apparently wasn't part of Survey Monkey, and he was gonna have to fill something out to become part of that. That's a turnoff for people. I don't know. I'm just telling you, I think we're lacking in citizen, and you guys, listening to citizen input. Now, we need more citizens here, of course, and we're trying to get word out there. But, and because a lot of people are angry about both apartments. So maybe more people are gonna come now. I don't know, but that's what I was saying.
Thank you. Sure, yeah, go ahead. Did you want to make a comment?
Well, I would. I'm Dean Allen. I live here in the city. For 30 years I've lived here, and I've heard people like this say that they have no input whatsoever. You guys want this beautiful city and you tax us to death. I've lived on the end of Fifth Avenue North for 30 years, and I still have a dirt street in my front yard. And every time that we get a big rain, it washes dirt and everything right by my house and everybody else that lives down there, and we never get anything. But my property has gone up 3 times higher than what I first started paying for it. And every time that I improved it, I paid more taxes. And you want all these departments to come, you want all this stuff to come, but you're not taking care of us taxpayers. And there's only one person on this board that I think that has any mind of taxpayer people and the value of them. But I think, that this is just a railroad to have some big fancy city, but you're not gonna take care of us taxpayers. And it's wrong. There's no reason for 30 years living in Lewistown city limits, and there's no curb and gutters, and if there was, it would be my responsibility. And that's wrong. You guys want all this fancy stuff in a nice city, but it's all on the burdens of us taxpayers. But living in town, and I've got a dirt street in front of my house, and there's 2 big hills right there that wash water down. This is wrong. It's flooded my house one time, and another time I had city sewer in my house 2 feet deep, and you guys wouldn't do one thing about it. I filled out all the insurance papers and everything else, and I bear the whole cost of it. So shame on you guys. You guys want this fancy city, but it's all on our shoulders, and it's wrong. And that city code person that drives around, the cost to have him do it, and I've stopped him. He was parked underneath of a shade tree doing nothing. That's another big cost to us taxpayers. And it's like the Gestapo. If you do anything to improve your house, we're gonna be taxed and punished for taking care of our own houses, and that's wrong.
Are we, I'm going to make a comment regarding citizen request, because I feel like my comment falls more under citizen request, in contrast with commissioner minutes. So speaking of the citizen, I really feel like we need more education on this TIF and TED. So I've been the recipient of TIF funds for 2 of our commercial buildings, and it has been a huge benefit to us and also to our community. I feel like this money that's gone in, there's just a big confusion as to who's putting this money in. I do pay my taxes, and I pay them on 2 commercial buildings as well as my home. And that money is, we just discussed, $1.6 million is sitting in that fund that I've put into that fund. I've contributed to that. So to have this confusion over how this money is awarded, we look at these advisory reports, I just feel like there needs to be more education. It's a difficult concept to understand how this is working. I drive through Roundup a lot when traveling through to Billings, and I see a huge improvement in their community. And I know that that's because of this new program that they, began with the TIF. So I just think that if we could have more, and really appreciate the community showing up. This is not an easy chair to sit in. There needs to be a bigger picture and understanding what's happening with tax dollars. So that's my comment as a citizen. I would like to see more education for us and also for the community for that. I really do applaud our community having the opportunity to have a tip and TED. I would not want to see what Lewistown would look like without driving down Main Street without that. Personally, so that's my citizens' comment, and we're going to move on now to commissioners' minutes. So we'll start with Commissioner Hewitt.
I'm just thankful that everyone came and made it known what you feel. That's a good thing.
And Commissioner Ward.
Thank everybody for coming and appreciate it.
Commissioner Hewitt.
They're not in the room. Lonnie just left, but I want to give the Council on Aging as well as our airport a big thank you for coming and discussing what they do here for the community and how their work impacts us. It's very important and very much appreciated. So I appreciate them coming and having that time. And again, I would echo the importance of understanding what TIF and TED are, how they came about, what is their plan, why they came about, and understanding their importance and how we can take care of our community.
Thank you. Okay, Commissioner Shaver.
Actually, I have something kind of on an up note that I want to discuss with the board. Is I believe that we need to make some proclamations as to these people that put these events together that happen in our town, whether it be Central Fest, Center Fest, or Cowboy Poetry, or the Joke Cherry Festival. I think the city of Lewistown needs to proclaim and give them the day or the weekend they want. And say, that's, if you're renting any city things or anything, you get that. You don't have to come to us every year after year after year. And I think it's important to recognize those events bring a lot of people to town, but they also, I'm not the volunteer guy and set things up. I'm not that guy. And I sure do look up to the people who do it. And they deserve the recognition from the city of Lewistown. So hopefully in the future, we can work on that for, recognizing those people that do that for us. Sorry.
Thank you. So that comment was addressed to the board. Did anyone have any thoughts to add on to that at all at this time? Commissioner Bowser?
I don't have anything tonight.
Okay. And then I just wanted to close and saying the same thank you to our Council on Aging program. Just a great benefits to our community, and also very exciting to see what's going on with that. I did want to make a comment just based off of tonight's discussion. I'm super grateful. I'm very grateful that we've had a really good influx of attendance through the public. It helps us as a commission. It allows us to think things through a little bit more differently. It allows us to look at different viewpoints on things. So I'm grateful for the public comment that's made. I'm also very grateful that we have ordinances in our community. I think we need to have rules and guidelines and things like that. And so I'm grateful that we're able to look at those ordinances and when necessary make adjustments depending on what the public requests. Other than that, a lot of great things looking forward to that our city manager highlighted tonight is Commissioner Shaver brought up. I think summertime just brings a lot of great community events, and wanted to make mention of those too, to get involved with those as well. Anything else for the good of the order from the commission? Public? Okay, this meeting is adjourned.